Prologue. You are listening at famvetv.info. Warm thick fluid of crimson flowed down my arm as I clutched the bullet hole on my shoulder, trying to hold off the bleeding. I heard gunshots coming from behind me. I must flee. This operation was a bust, damn it that I can't believe I failed, shit. Fortunately enough, I managed to escape before they could corner me. I left quite a lot of bloodshed in my escape, as expected of my skills. But damn, I couldn't even kill my target. What a blunder that I turned towards a small alley, hoping to at least lose the ones who were chasing me. My long and unkempt black hair rattled as I ran desperately. I gripped the pistol in my hands in preparation for what may greet me once I leave this alley. My beautiful brow wrinkled when I heard the sound of a vehicle coming my way. Its headlight began to lit the road before me. There were no allies here, I am alone, therefore, this fast vehicle could only be an enemy. Sure enough, the car stopped as soon as I stepped out of the alley. They opened the doors of their car, but before they could come out, I aimed my weapon at them. I instantly had one in my sights and pulled the trigger. A loud roar from my weapon rang out. I shot him cleanly in the head and his assault rifle fell to the ground. That I quickly shifted the aim to the second man and shot. But two more emerged from the back seat of the car, so I stepped back and took cover behind the wall. Their guns shot numerous bullets towards where I was situated. Damn it, enemies will also come from my back at any second. There were also the ones that were chasing me from behind. I expected that they would appear from where I just went through. This is the end. How could everything end this way? That I began to worry about my life. My desire to have a carefree life, and my regrets came to my mind. Damn, why life had always felt like it was in shackles, always bounded, unable to do what I wanted. Only do the things I was ordered. I was always envious of normal people. Casually walking down the street, without fearing for anything, eat by the street stalls, go shopping, laugh with other people. Hell, I am even envious of those that were able to go to school. Not because they were able to go to school until they graduate from college, but because they got to live a carefree life. What a miserable turn of events. Well, if this was how it was going to end, let's end it with a bang. I ain't gonna mope around in the face of death. If I was going to die, I'll do it on my own terms. At least, I got to do what I wanted this time. That I listened to the rapid fire of my enemies. Then they stopped. They must be advancing towards me. Good, at least I get to catch them in surprise, this way. I heard a loud voice from the other end of the alley. They were the ones that were chasing after me. Instantly, upon hearing that one man's shout, I stepped forward and extended my weapon with a dagger in my hand. I always had daggers strapped to my thighs during missions. With my dark mission outfit, which was made for the purpose of flexible movement, I moved swiftly. The two men looked surprised for a split second that I suddenly emerged from my cover. However, with that opening, I pulled the trigger of my weapon, hitting him on the neck. Due to the pressure, I missed the head. But that was fine, that still meant death. Before anything else, I also instantly threw my sharp dagger towards the other guy. That I hit his chest, causing him to stagger. I quickly shifted my weapon towards him and opened fire 2 times. But he also managed to open fire, though with utterly poor accuracy due to him being hit. He still managed to hit me by the side of the stomach. I grimaced in pain as I covered it with my free hand, but there was no time to rest. Enemies were coming from behind. I immediately opened fire towards them as I rushed towards the car the enemies used. Regrettably, I only managed to down one. And worst of all, I ran out of bullets. No time to reload. So I entered the car, but as I did so, I caught a glimpse of incoming vehicles from a distance. That I got on the car seat and stepped on the accelerator. Wait, I might be able to escape. Ha! Joke's on you, you bastards. My car moved fast, but the enemies were already hot on my tail. They fired at me, so I had to duck, unable to look what would be ahead. But that was fine. It should be a clean road since I managed to catch a glimpse of it. That I was heading straight to the bridge. Pieces of glass from the window came flying inside as countless hails of bullets rained towards me. Shit, couldn't they be gentle to a pretty girl like me? Damn, that I may have sounded sarcastic, but I was serious. I was only able to think of such things since I have always been in danger almost my entire life. So, this situation was nothing to be so depressed about that I have hope that I can live, but that hope was taken when an explosion erupted right behind the car I was driving. I panicked for a moment, then took a peek at a fucking grenade launcher. Bullshit that I tried not to drive in a straight line, I managed to dodge twice. Thankfully, the bridge was within reach, a river vigorously flowing underneath it. I was reaching the center of the bridge, but at that moment, an explosion came in front of me. In reflex, I turned the wheel, but instead of staying on the road, my car went to the edge of the bridge. There was where I fell. The cold dark water, with no light since it was night, greeted me. I held my breath and tried to open the door. Although it was rough. The river here was indeed troublesome, but I still managed to open it and came outside with difficulty on the way. The wounds throbbed as the strong current carried my body. It was difficult to swim in this kind of current, but at this rate, I might be able to escape and survive. Truth be told, I also planned to dive into the river if all else fails. That I'm a genius right now. Here I go praying I won't drown. I swam with all my strength towards the surface. When I reached above, I looked around. The strong current really helped since I saw no enemies around. That being said, I felt very cold and weak. I was losing a lot of blood. I swam quickly to the river bank that I barely managed to hold onto the concrete, but I still managed to climb up. I collapsed on the floor, extremely tired. That my precious hands shivered. No, it wasn't just my hands, it was my entire body. Blood began to form a small puddle on the floor. I don't like this, not at all. The pain, the blood, the cold, this feeling, I don't like it. That I need immediate medical attention. I forced myself to stand up, body shaking while doing so. My body felt heavy, it was unpleasant. Not anything else here was pleasant. I legit felt I was dying. And oh, I may be literally dying, but I had hope. I lifted my feet, slowly moving forward. I was somewhat familiar with this location, but any medical facilities here were totally not close. In other words, it was impossible to reach one. Maybe some person will come across me and help me. Yes, if someone came, I might be saved. As a short time passed, a vehicle with its headlights on, came towards me. A faint smile curled on my lips. The vehicle stopped and its doors opened. How miserable you look. A man's voice. It was familiar, and the smile on my lips grew a bit wider. The man, about his mid-20s, had blonde hair and blue eyes. This man was beautiful and could charm just about any woman who he came across. Of course I felt nothing. I was never infatuated by this man. The same thing applies to the same gender as mine. I can't feel anything special towards even females, and also men. What? Could this mean I am a monster? No way, I'm human. Perhaps that was just the way I am. The man flashed me a charming smile. That I walked closer to him and shrugged. Indeed. I'm miserable beautiful 20-year-old girl, and vulnerable. So, what are you standing around for? Help me here. This was one of my colleagues, therefore, I could feel all relaxed. Ah, how did you find me anyway? The man slowly approached me, the tracker. Of course. Somewhere embedded in my arm, I had a tracker. All members of the organization had them. However, how come you have access to a tracker's location? Before the operation, I was, well, you could say promoted. I see, I frowned as I watched him. Why are you still standing? I'm dying here. I'm using all my strength just to stand up. Where's the first aid? He heaved a deep sigh before moving his hand to his back. You were seen, you know. You exposed your face, and even caused all that trouble. I grew tense upon hearing his words. So what? You have exposed the operation, and look at you, dying, in the middle of a street. I glared at him, having an idea where this was leading. My gaze downcast, I took a deep breath. So this is where it ends. Trying to fight back was pointless. I was wounded and weak. I didn't even have any kind of weapon in hand. I couldn't fight back here. It seems this was where I will meet my end. The organization often does this, so it didn't come as a lot of shock. They always discard those who no longer had any uses or had failed miserably, and, here I will be thrown away. Abandoned. Disposed of. I returned my gaze towards the man. We had worked together for a long time. A few years. But he didn't show any kind of sympathy as he was about to kill me. I guess that was what to be expected. There were just people that didn't have a heart. They can kill easily, like having a tea party, they feel nothing about it. Taking one's life was trivial, even if they had worked together for a long time. I suppose I'm the same way as him. I glared at him. Go ahead then. But don't think I won't fight back. He smiled at me as though amused. You'll die of blood loss anyway. But, it appears it would take time, so I'll end it here. A dagger in his hand, he prepared to throw it. It would seem he didn't want to face me head on. Of course it was not because I could potentially hurt him, I'm way past that. That was because he didn't want to get dirty due to my blood. You're an ugly man, you know that. I said to him as I rushed my feet forward. If I could hit him, I might get satisfied. But, the dagger had already pierced my heart before I knew it. I collapsed on my knees. I clutched the dagger stuck to my chest, but I had no strength left to pull it out. I feel sleepy. You're a hard girl to kill. I smiled at him as my life was slowly draining away, just the way things are. Indeed, so don't bear any grudges towards me in the afterlife. Of course, there will be no grudges. I knew this could potentially happen to me at some point. But, I had regrets. I had a lot of regrets that I didn't want to die yet, but I was already dying. No hope escaping from its grasp. No, perhaps dying would be a blessing from this life. I said my final words, have a good life, my friend. Even if he killed me, we were still colleagues once. And we were raised in the same organization. Thus, despite how we treated each other now, we still had respect for each other. We still somewhat have a relationship. And the word I could think of to describe it was friendship, or perhaps kinship. Friend. Yes. We're friends, aren't we? A faint smile appeared on his face. I hope something good will happen to you, if souls do exist and end up somewhere. Farewell, our angel. That was the moment my life faded away. My corpse lay on the cold hard street, with a dead heart full of regret. Tearing_sanctuary. Hello. This novel is participating in the current anniversary competition. Well, I just figured it wouldn't /t be bad to join, hahaha. Please support me. Also please leave a heart, comment and add this story to your readings. Thank you very much. Listen to the full novel at famvetv.info, direct link in the description.